Nehemyah or Nehemiah, chapter 1. The words of Nehemyah, son of Hakaliah. And it came to be in the new moon of Kislev, in the 20th year, as I was in the citadel of Shushan, that Hanani, one of my brothers, came with men from Yehudah, and I asked them concerning the Yehudim who had escaped, who had survived the captivity, and concerning Jerusalem. And they said to me, the remnant who are left of the captivity in the province are there in great evil and reproach. And the wall of Jerusalem is broken down, and its gates are burned with fire. And it came to be when I heard these words that I sat down and wept and mourned for many days. And as I was fasting and praying before the Elohim of the heavens, and I said, I pray, Yehovah, Elohim of the heavens, O great and awesome El, guarding the covenant and loving commitment with those who love you and with those guarding your commands. Please let your ear be attentive and your eyes open to hear the prayer of your servant, which I'm praying before you now, day and night, for the children of Israel, your servants, and confess the sins of the children of Israel, which we've sinned against you. Both my father's house and I have sinned. We've acted very corruptly against you. We've not guarded the commands, nor the laws, nor the right rulings, which you commanded your servant Moshe. Please remember the word that you commanded your servant Moshe, saying, if you trespass, I shall scatter you among the peoples. But if you shall turn back to me and guard my commands and do them, though you were cast out to the end of the heavens, I shall gather them from there and bring them to the place which I have chosen to make my name dwell there. And they are your servants and your people, whom you have ransomed by your great power and by your strong hand. O Yehovah, I pray, please let your ear be attentive to the prayer of your servant and to the prayer of your servants who delight to fear your name. And let your servant prosper this day, I pray, and grant him compassion in the presence of this man. For I was cupbearer to the sovereign. Chapter 2. And it came to be in the new moon of Nisan, in the 20th year of Artashashta the sovereign, when wine was before him, that I took the wine and gave it to the sovereign. And I had never been sad in his presence, and the sovereign said to me, why is your face sad, since you're not sick? This is none else but sorrow of heart. And I was very much afraid. And I said to the sovereign, let the sovereign live forever. Why should my face not be sad when the city, the place of my father's burial sites, lies waste, and its gates are burned with fire? And the sovereign said to me, what is it you're asking for? Then I prayed to the Elohim of the heavens and said to the sovereign, if it seems good to the sovereign, and if your servant is pleasing before you, I ask that you send me to Yehudah, to the city of my father's burial site, so that I build it. And the sovereign, with the sovereigness sitting beside him, said to me, how long would your journey take, and when would you return? So it seemed good before the sovereign to send me, and I set him a time. And I said to the sovereign, if it seems good to the sovereign, let letters be given to me for the governors beyond the river, that they should let me pass through till I come to Yehudah, and a letter to Asaph, the keeper of the sovereign's forest, that he should give me timber to make beams for the gates of the palace that belong to the house, and for the city wall, and for the house I would enter. And the sovereign gave them to me according to the good hand of my Elohim upon me. Then I came to the governors beyond the river and gave them the letters of the sovereign. Now the sovereign had sent commanders of the army and horsemen with me. And Sanballat, the Horonite, and Tobiah, the Ammonite official, heard of it. And to them it was evil, a great evil, that man had come to seek good for the children of Israel. Then I came to Jerusalem and was there 3 days. And I rose up in the night, I and a few men with me, but informed no one what my Elohim had put in my heart to do at Jerusalem. Nor was there any beast with me except the beast on which I rode. And I went out by night through the valley gate to the jackal's fountain and the dung gate, and examined the walls of Jerusalem, which were broken down, and its gates, which were burned with fire. And I went on to see the fountain gate and the sovereign's pool, but there was no room for the beast that was under me to pass. And I went up in the night by the wadi and examined the wall, and turned back and entered by the valley gate, and returned. And the deputy rulers did not know where I had gone nor what I had done, nor had I yet informed the Yehudim, or the priests, or the nobles, or the deputy rulers, or others who did the work. Then I said to them, You see the evil which we are in, how Jerusalem lies waste, and its gates are burned with fire. Come and let us build the wall of Jerusalem, and let us no longer be a reproach. And I informed them of the hand of my Elohim, which had been good upon me, and also of the sovereign's words he had spoken to me. And they said, Let us rise up and we shall build. So they made their hands strong for good. But when Sanballat the Horonite heard, and Tobiah the servant, the Ammonite, and Geshem the Arab, they mocked us and despised us, and said, What is this you're doing? Are you rebelling against the sovereign? And I answered them and said to them, The Elohim of the heavens, he shall bless us, and let us, his servants, rise and build. But you have no portion or right or remembrance in Jerusalem. Chapter 3. And Eliashib the high priest rose up with his brothers the priests and built the sheep gate. And they set it apart and set up its doors, even as far as the tower of Hamiah. They set it apart, as far as the tower of Hananel. And at his hand the men of Jericho built, and at his hand Zakur son of Imri built. And the sons of Hasanaah built the fish gate, who laid its beams and set up its doors, its bolts and bars. And at their hand Meremoth son of Uriah, son of Coates, strengthened. And at their hand Meshullam son of Berechiah, son of Meshezabel, strengthened. And at their hand Zadok son of Baanah strengthened. And at their hand the Tekovites strengthened, but their nobles did not put their shoulders to the work of the master. And Jehoiada son of Paseah, and Meshullam son of Bosadeah, strengthened the old gate. They laid its beams and set up its doors and its bolts and its bars. And at their hand Malatiah the Gibeonite, and Yadan the Meronothite, the men of Gibeon and Mitzpah, strengthened the official seat of the governor beyond the river. And at his hand Uzziel, son of Harhiah, one of the goldsmiths, strengthened. And at his hand Hananiah, one of the perfumers, strengthened. And they restored Jerusalem as far as the broad wall. And at their hand Rephaiah, son of Hur, ruler of half the district of Jerusalem, strengthened. Then at their hand Yediah, son of Harumpath, strengthened, even opposite his house. Then at his hand Hattush, son of Hashabeniah, strengthened. Malchiah, son of Harum, and Hashub, son of Pahath Moab, strengthened another section, and the tower of the ovens. And at his hand Shallum, son of Halohesh, ruler of half the district of Jerusalem, strengthened. he and his daughters. Hanun and the people of Zonavah strengthened the valley gate. They built it and set up its doors, its bolts, and its bars, and 1,000 cubits of the wall as far as the dung gate. And the dung gate was strengthened by Malchiah, son of Rechab, ruler of the district of Beth Hakerem. He built it and set up its doors, its bolts, and its bars. And the fountain gate was strengthened by Shallum, son of Kol-Hoseh, ruler of the district of Mitzpah. He built it and covered it and set up its doors, its bolts, and bars. Also, the wall of the pool of Shelah by the sovereign's gardens, as far as the stairs going down from the city of David. After him, Nehemyah, son of Azbuk, ruler of half the district of Beth Tzor, strengthened as far as opposite the burial sites of David and to the man-made pool, and as far as the house of the mighty men. After him, the Levites, Rehum, son of Bani, strengthened. At his hand strengthened Hashabiah, ruler of half the district of Keilah, for his district. After him, their brothers, Bavai, son of Henadad, ruler of the other half of the district of Keilah, strengthened. And at his hand, Ezer, son of Yeshua, the ruler of Mitzpah, strengthened another section before the going up to the armory at the corner. After him, Baruch, son of Zabai, eagerly strengthened the other section from the buttress to the door of the house of Eliashib, the high priest. After him, Meremoth, son of Uriah, son of Kotes, strengthened another section from the door of the house of Eliashib to the end of the house of Eliashib. And after him, the priests, the men of the neighborhood, strengthened. After him, Benjamin and Hashub strengthened opposite their house. After them, Azariah, son of Maaseiah, son of Anaiah, strengthened near his house. After him, Binnui, son of Henadad, strengthened another section from the house of Azariah to the angle, even as far as the corner. Palal, son of Uzai, strengthened opposite the corner and on the tower which projects from the sovereign's upper house, that was by the courtyard of the prison. After him, Pedaiah, son of Parosh. Now, the Nethinim dwelt in Ophel as far as opposite the water gate toward the east and on the projecting tower. After him, the Tekovites strengthened another section opposite the great projecting tower and as far as the wall of Ophel. Beyond the horse gate, the priests strengthened each opposite his own house. After them, Zadok, son of Immer, strengthened opposite his own house. After him, Shemaiah, son of Shechaniah, keeper of the east gate, strengthened. After him, Hananiah, son of Shelemiah, and Hanun, the sixth son of Salaph, strengthened another section. After him, Meshullam, son of Berechiah, strengthened opposite his room. After him, Malchiah, one of the goldsmiths, strengthened as far as the house of the Nethinim and of the merchants, opposite the Mithkad gate, and as far as going up of the corner. And between the going up of the corner to the sheep gate, the goldsmiths and the merchants strengthened. Chapter 4. And it came to be, when Sanballat heard that we were rebuilding the wall, that he was wroth and highly offended and mocked the Yehudim. And he spoke before his brothers and the army of Shomeron, saying, "What are those feeble Yehudim doing? Are they going to restore slaughter completed in a day? Are they going to bring to light the stones from the heaps of rubbish which are burned?" And Tobiah the Ammonite was beside him, and he said, "Whatever they build, if a fox should climb on it, he shall break down their stone wall. Hear, O our Elohim, for we have become despised, and turn back their reproach on their own heads, and give them as a prey in a land of captivity. And do not cover over their crookedness, and do not let their sin be blotted out from before you, for they have provoked you before the builders. So we built the wall, and the entire wall was joined together up to the half of it, for the people had a heart to work. And it came to be when Sanballat and Tobiah and the Arabs and the Ammonites and the Ashdodites heard that the walls of Jerusalem were being repaired and the broken places began to be filled, that they became very wroth. All of them conspired together to come and fight against Jerusalem and to do harm to it. But we prayed to our Elohim and set a watch against them day and night because of them. And Yehudah said, the strength of the burden bearers is weakening, and there is so much rubbish we're unable to build the wall. And our adversaries said, let them not know or see it until we come into their midst and shall kill them and cause the work to cease. And it came to be when the Yehudim who dwelt near them came, that they said to us 10 times, from whatever place you turn, they are against us. So I set men behind the lower parts of the wall at the openings. I set the people according to their clans, with their swords, their spears, and their bows. And I looked and rose up and said to the nobles and to the deputy rulers and to the rest of the people, do not be afraid of them. Remember the great and awesome Yahweh, and fight for your brothers and your sons and your daughters, your wives and your houses. And it came to be when our enemies heard that it was known to us, and that Elohim had brought their counsel to naught, that all of us returned to the wall, everyone to his work. And it came to be from that time on that half of my servants were working in the work, while the other half were holding the spears, the shields, and the bows, and the breastplates. And the rulers were behind all the house of Yehudah, who were building on the wall. And those bearing burdens, those loading, working with one hand in the work and with the other holding a weapon. As for the builders, each one had his sword girded at his side as he built, and the one who sounded with the shofar was beside me. And I said to the nobles and to the deputy rulers and to the rest of the people, the work is great and large, and we are separated far from one another on the wall. In whatever place you hear the voice of the shofar, join us there. Our Elohim fights for us. So we labored in the work, and half of them held the spears from the break of day until the stars appeared. At that time I also said to the people, let each man and his servant spend the night in Jerusalem, and they shall be our guard by night, and for the work by day. So neither I, nor my brothers, nor my servants, nor the men of the guard who followed me, none of us took off our garments, each one his weapon, even at the water.